Well, good morning to you. Welcome to the Triumphant Living Today program. And it is Triumphant Tuesday. Let's give it up. Thumbs up, hearts. Let's show some love on today. I am ready for the program today. Many of you have seen the post, you've seen the flyer, the advertisement. So today's program is going to be special. As you know, we're having Valentine's Day on Sunday. Sunday is Valentine's Day. And listen, I want you to call a friend. I want you to call someone that you know, your coworker, and those that are married. Even if you're not married, you're believing God to be married. I want them on the program today. So I want you to share the information so that they can be blessed. I have a guest on today, and the guest is Net Robinson, Coach Net. That's what I call her. Coach Net is going to be on today, and she has a book out, and we'll talk more about that, but it's dealing with intimacy, and not only intimacy, but a healthy wife. We're going to be talking about a healthy wife, not just a wife. So we're going to talk about having a healthy marriage. So listen, I want you to let someone know. Share this information, and listen, we want you to be engaged and be a part of the comments on today. So let's get started. Are you ready? Let's get started then. Come on, let's introduce, and I want you to welcome Coach Net Robinson. Hey, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Welcome to Triumphant Living Today.
Thank you for having me. I am so excited, like beyond excited to be here today. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Listen, we have a lot to talk about today. And so we want to share, we want to be a blessing. That's the whole concept of today, is to be a blessing to the wives. Now we have something for the husbands, but today is for the wives.
The wives.
So are you ready?
Yes, ma'am. I'm ready.
All right. Tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started.
Well, first, I want to say thank you again. Thank Apostle Perry as well for accepting me. Thank God for you guys. You guys are definitely like my spiritual grandparents, because I am the daughter of Bishop K.G. Stewart and Pastor Rhonda Stewart.
Yay!
Yes. So you guys are my spiritual grandparents. So I'm so excited to be here. I am married. I've been married for 12 amazing years to my husband, John Robinson. I have 4 amazing children: Shamel, James, Faith, and Jeremiah. They're 2 sets, 23, 18, 9, and 7.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it is interesting, very interesting. And I am the owner of Boston Beauty, co-owner of Boston Beauty, the owner of Beauty by Net Hair Loss Restoration Clinic here in Shreveport, Louisiana. I've been a licensed cosmetologist for 15 years and a licensed educator for 13 years. So I love it. I love what I get to do every single day. And doing this right here, the coaching, has been such a just a big refresher for me. Something I've always dreamed of, enjoyed doing, sharing, encouraging, and to be able to do that on a different level and share what I've learned through my journey is such a blessing, because I've gone through a lot, but being able to take those moments and overcome and triumph over them and then share with others how I did it is such a blessing. And I'm so grateful to God for that opportunity. So that's about everything about me.
Yeah. So what made you want to, you could have been a coach of many other things, but why the wives?
I think that at this particular moment, I know that it's always been important and valuable, but at this particular moment, from my standpoint in life, I realize that there's so much that's missing for wives, so much information that's not shared, and it's the things that need to be talked about, because it's the break or make things in the marriage. And it just has to be said. It's the thing that helps us become healthy. It's the thing that helps us break through those barriers. It makes us feel like we're not alone if something is not going right. It just kind of puts us in a place where that information is available so we can become better because we need to be healthy wise.
Right.
Everything attached to us is
Hmm.
either healthy or unhealthy because it's attached to us. And so when
Right.
we're healthy, everything else flows and becomes healthy.
That is so true. The key word is healthy. And so to be a healthy wife in every area of our lives, to be healthy. And
Yes.
so I'm excited. You have two books. Tell us about your two books.
So I have two books, two ebooks. Both of those are ebooks. I am also an author over in the cosmetology industry with my sister from Boston Beauty, Landenberg's Done. We have co-authored another book called Books But Broke, and it's an entrepreneur guide. So I
Mhm.
always have enjoyed writing. And so at this particular moment, I said, okay, Lord, how can I get more information out without having to be before people? And so I thought about put it in a book, write it down, and people can always access it. So the first one is Five Habits of a Healthy, Happy Wife. And
Mhm.
it's five habits, five simple habits that you can grab.
A
Patience.
healthy, happy
Um,
wife. I'm laughing
yes,
because he said a healthy, happy wife.
healthy, happy wife. Healthy,
Hmm.
happy wife. That prayer, patience. All of those different things are so important in your marriage because it's not going to be perfect. It's not
Right.
going to be perfect. So having those five habits that you can create daily and having those habits that you can put before you that you know what, no matter what happens, you know what, this is my foundation. This is what I'm going to stand on. This is what's going to make me be able to go through the fire because I can't run every time something's not working out. I can't
Mhm.
run when it's not perfect. I have to have a strategy in place. And what's that plan going to look like? So that's going to be prayer. That's going to be have patience with your husband. You know, you can't just don't mistreat him. Don't talk about it. Just take it to
Yes.
God in prayer. So that's the first book, and that's actually a free download. I said, Lord, whatever you
Wow.
tell me to do, I'm gonna do it. So they can go get that now for
Yeah.
nothing.
Oh,
The
wow. Put the
second one,
information up so the ladies can go get this, um, the five habits of a healthy, happy wife. And so
yes,
you
ma'am.
can go and get that information. Tell us about the next book on intimacy.
The second book is Intimacy. Now, when writing this one, I was like, okay, Lord, what are you having me to do here? But I understand how important intimacy is. And we get so caught up when we hear the word intimacy, we think about sex. That's
Right.
automatically what everybody think about is sex. And intimacy is so much more than sex. And my
Right.
purpose for writing this book was to bring that forth that there are so many other ways to connect and so many different things that you can do besides sex that make you feel close to your spouse.
Right.
It's so many different things. So that's what that particular book about, and I'm sure we'll talk about that some today.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna let you go and talk about that in just a minute. We have, I'm always giving away some free gifts and all that, and we'll talk about that. But I want to let Coach Net share with us today on which one are you gonna talk about. Well, either way, either one. So go ahead, and I'm gonna just let you go ahead, and you're gonna coach us today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, so if I could say anything to us as wives, I would say first off, vulnerability. Vulnerability is huge in our marriages. And the reason why it's important and it's so vital is because if you can't be free and open with the person you want to be with for the rest of your life, you're going to have a hard time. It's going to be rough because in the state of intimacy, you want to be able to be free and not feel judged. You want to be able to know that I have a safe place. I want to be safe. And as women, security is one of our biggest areas. We want to feel secure. So sometimes we have the tendency to probably not be as vulnerable because we don't want the information to be used back against us. But we have to get to that place where we're healthy in that area with our husbands and we can cry and we can be open and we can share. It's that openness, it's that closeness that you have with him, and it creates that deep connection. There are the shallow connections, and I'm going to tell you guys just a few other types of intimacies. The first type of intimacy I want to share with you is the aesthetic intimacy. And that intimacy is a shallow intimacy where it's on the top. You just look at your husband. This is when you just look at him and say, oh, I like his eyes. Oh, I like his arms. That kind of stuff. That's the aesthetic and that physical intimacy. That's shallow. And you have that, but that's not where we need to stay. So whether you're getting ready to become married, whether you're already married, we have to move beyond that state, because there's a deeper level of intimacy that the Lord wants us to experience with our husband. And it's deep. And so that's the first type of intimacy. The second type of intimacy is this intellectual intimacy. That's the one that stimulates our mind. That's the one when we have those conversations that make us say, tell me more. Tell me more of that, because we're stimulated in our mind in those conversations. And those conversations are important to be able to have with your husband, because you want to feel like he can stimulate your mind. It's more than just sex. It's, I'm interested in what you have to say, and you're interested in what I have to say. So when you go into that place of intellectual intimacy, it's a different level. It's a little deeper, because you're allowing them into your mindset. And we know a lot of things, nearly everything starts with the mind. The third type of intimacy I am going to share is this experiential intimacy. Now, this intimacy you can have with everybody. You can have it with your parents. You can have it with your children. You can have it with your girlfriends. You can have it with your coworkers. And that's the intimacy where you have an experience. You have an experience with the person. Say me and First Lady Perry, we go to the mall. Okay. And we had such an amazing time. We shopped. We enjoyed ourselves. We had an experiential intimacy moment. We enjoyed the experience. And so that's another type of intimacy. That's important to have with your husband as well, because believe it or not, men communicate best side by side. Take this note. If you need anything from your husband, go do something that he enjoyed, and you're going to be able to get everything you need out of him, because that's when he's open. That's when he's most vulnerable. He's not most vulnerable. Most men are not most vulnerable when you're just wanting to have a conversation. They're like, I don't have time for that right now. You know, my mind's somewhere else. But if you can get them in a space where they're doing something that they enjoy side by side, and they're in a relaxed mode, you can probably talk a little bit more. So have those experiences with him. Something my bishop and pastor taught my husband and I was to create your own world, but then you come together and you create a world together. So it's like going into his space, doing something that he enjoyed, doing something that he loves, so that you can let him know, I support you. I come over into your space, and I want to understand what it is that you're doing. I love you that much. So creating that intimacy through experiences is so important. Another type of intimacy is the emotional intimacy. The emotional intimacy is a deeper level. It is vital. It is so important for us as women. It's probably the most important intimacy. This is that intimacy where you get the opportunity to allow your husband to feel your emotion. This is where he gets you. You click to him. You know, we're like Mars and Venus. You know the book. We're different. And so when he get to that place to where he can connect with you in the emotional realm of everything, that, you know what, she want to talk. Let me just listen. You know what? She just want to get it off her chest. Let me just hear. That's him connecting with you emotionally. And a lot of times, that's the area most women are malnourished in. That's the area where your thermometer is lowest, because sometimes we just don't feel like we're supported emotionally. You know, I had a rough day. The kids, you know, they jumping all over the house, or, you know, the oldest child, they having problems in their relationship. And, you know, the job just didn't treat me the way I wanted to be treated. So I have all these emotions, and he can't connect to that. He's like, oh, get over it. That emotional connection is so important. Sometimes you just want to be held. Sometimes you just want him to hug you, and that'll make it feel better, but you don't get that. So sometimes you're malnourished in that area because your husband probably can't connect in that area. Now I'm going to step in for the husbands right here, because I want to make sure that we support them. Some husbands haven't been taught how to do that. They didn't see it. So If you notice that about your spouse, allow them the time, encourage them, support them as they work through those areas that they're not quite where they need to be. Because to be honest, we're not quite where we need to be in a lot of areas as well. So giving that grace so that your marriage can grow and become deeper. And the next intimacy I want to talk about is the sexual intimacy. And that area is not going to be the best if we don't work in all the other areas. If we're not connecting throughout the day, if we're not sending those sweet love text messages, and I'm going to drop this in, you're never too old for intimacy. And intimacy is not just sex. So for my older couples that may be watching, you're like, oh, she's still young and they still in the prime of their marriage. Intimacy can never get old. My husband and I, we've gone through a lot of things in our marriage. And one of them being a lot of health challenges. My husband experienced chronic kidney failure 6 weeks after we were married. And so we experienced some things in the sexual intimacy area from both ends, his part and my part. When I would get pregnant, that was not the biggest area for us. So if you don't have this connection in all the other ways, you can't connect emotionally, you can't connect intellectually, and you can't stimulate each other in other ways, then you begin to understand or see that drought in your marriage because you can't find that deep connection in other ways. And that's so important to have. So sexual intimacy will come and it will be heightened after you connect in all of these other ways. I always tell the wives in my wife coaching group when they're having troubles in that area, I say you have to be patient. And I know that it's a big thing, but you have to understand that sometimes most men have never been taught how to be intimate. They just don't know. They don't know how to be romantic. So why don't you help him? Why don't you step in and create the atmosphere that you are desiring? Create that atmosphere. And while I was waiting, I don't know if they got an opportunity. I saw the bathtub that you had up, First Lady Perry, and it was so pretty. And we have to do that. We have to set those atmospheres and tell him what you desire. Tell him, sit down, have the hard conversations in a pleasant environment, though. Don't do it when he's not in a good headspace. Create the environment to be able to have the conversation. Baby, let me tell you, I love you. I love everything about you. And I know I have a lot of things that I need to work on. I always say use the hamburger technique. I learned this running a beauty school. Use the hamburger technique. Say something nice, give him some cushion. That's the bread. Then tell him what you need, okay? Say it real nice, though. Delivery and tone is everything. And then give him something that's going to leave him high at the end of it with some more bread, okay? So tell him something great that he does. And then give him something that you know you need. And then leave with something that he does so amazing. And tell him, have that hard conversation and be honest. Be honest, because communication is everything in a marriage. Communication is everything in any relationship. But in your marriage, if you're passive, if you're aggressive, or if you're passive aggressive, you're going to see some things and some responses that you just don't want. But when you become assertive, and assertive means I'm direct, I'm honest, but I say it in a nice, humble tone and in a nice way. But I get my point out. And when you begin to do that in your marriage, you take these things and you start applying them. Okay, I learned that, my husband is aggressive or I'm passive aggressive. And let me tell you guys about this passive aggressiveness, because a lot of us women, we're like that. He says, I want to watch the game today, and you're okay, go ahead. But in your mind, you really wanted to spend some time together. But you don't say that. You don't communicate that. And then once he's done with the game, he comes in, want to be lovey-dovey. You're like, no, you just go ahead on and do what you're doing. That's that passive aggressiveness. And we can't communicate with our husband like that. We have to be assertive and be honest and say, babe, you know what? I know that's what you would love to do, but I miss you. I want to spend time with you. And I understand that you want to do the game. Can we set up a time for us to spend time together? It's so important that we put those principles and practices into place. So, going back to intimacy, if you can't communicate about what you like and what you don't like, you're not going to be a healthy, happy wife. You're definitely not going to be happy because you're not getting what you want. So you have to communicate that. And if your husband is not able to deliver that, or if you're having problems in your marriage that's well beyond what it is that you know this is able to help you, get some help. Find some professional counseling so that you can get the help that you need. But if you say, you know what, this is good information, I can use some of this, then you take it to the next step and find the help that you need to really be able to push it. If you just don't get it, say, you know what, I need help. I need help. And if you're the one, let me say this, if you're the one that's not as active in the marriage, or your husband is the heightened one and you're like, oh God, sometimes we get like that. We're like, I'm tired, I got a headache, I don't feel like it, I'm not into it. Be creative. Be creative. And I'm going to show you guys just a few things on, how to start creating the spice in your marriage. Well, how do I get to that place? We've been married for 20 years now, and, we don't care about that. It's not about the sex. It's about the closeness. It's about the connection. It's about, what? I feel safe with my husband. I feel secure with him. He takes care of me. He keeps me covered. I feel that. So creating that, Dollar Tree, if you just say, you know what, well, sis, I don't have the money. Dollar Tree have so many great things. I got these from Dollar Tree. These are heart balloons. It's about to be Valentine's Day. What have you planned? What's your plans? Do you have anything special? I don't care if you've been married 90 years. Do something. Do something different. Do something different this time. So get you some things. Get those balloons and throw them across the bedroom. And I'm going to share this with you. Don't just do the same thing over and over. Come on, wives. We're going to go to the next level. Let's go to the next level in our marriages, regardless to how long you've been doing it. Yes, First Lady. The next thing is get you some good smelling stuff. My First Lady, she believe in this kind of stuff here. She'll buy me some. Look, get you some body wash, get you some body spray, spray it all over your bed, all of that good stuff. Make him feel enticed before he even get to the some lotion, all of that good stuff. Get yourself together in that area. Spice up the intimacy life. Get you some nice candles. Get you some nice candles that smell really good. Light it. Set the atmosphere for this. And not just the sex. It's the connection that you're trying to create. You're trying to create that connection. And this is one of my favorites. I have this little satin bag here. And in the inside of it, I have all my little rose petals. And I'll just throw them all over the bedroom. And then I have the little diamonds that go with it. And guess what? This is stuff that you can keep. Put it away and reuse it. You don't have to go buy something every time, but creating that intimacy is so important. And once you get that intact, creating that emotional connection, creating that intellectual stimulation, having those uninterrupted conversations. I always tell my wives 5 minutes of communication a day. 5 minutes will keep your marriage alive. Taking 5 minutes to say, okay, babe, how's your day going? Okay, how is it for you? What do you need from me? Is it anything I can do for you today? Is it anything you need from me? Okay, well, baby, I got you. I got you covered. So that those are all the types of intimacies. Last one, spiritual intimacy. I cannot stress how important this is to your marriage. It's one of the key components of having a strong marriage. Prayer. Praying together is key. Praying alone is important as well, because whatever you are trying to do in your husband, if you're trying to change anything, if you want him to change in any area, you can't do it. You have to take it to God in prayer. Put it at the hands of God. Let him have it concerning your husband. Keep your husband covered in prayer. Keep him covered because he needs it. You need it. We all need it. And it's important. Spiritual intimacy, praying together. Do that before you try any other intimacy and watch how God completely bless your marriage. It doesn't have to be bad. You can be a healthy, happy wife. If you're in a place and you're just like, this is not going to work, or, I'm over it, you can do it. You can do it. I know we expect our husbands to come in, but I always tell my wives, what part are you playing? What are you doing different? Are you playing into the bait? You have to know that we're not fighting against each other in the marriage. You have to come together. No, we have to fight the enemy that's out to destroy us. We're on the same team and we're going to be armed and dangerous and let the devil know he cannot have our marriage. Or if it's you as a wife, he can't have my husband. I'm keeping him covered in prayer and I am going to stand on the word of God because a wise woman, Proverbs tell us, a wise woman builds her house, but a foolish one will tear it down. And we don't want to be those wives that's tearing our husbands down with our words, tearing them down with our looks, tearing them down with our actions, but we want to build up our husbands. We want to build up and speak over our marriages, over our intimacy, over our sexual intimacy, over the emotional intimacy, over any part, over the way that we communicate. We're going to even communicate better. We're going to be sensitive to our husbands, and we're going to pray that they're going to be sensitive to us. We're going to just connect on deeper levels. And that's my prayer. That's the whole gist of why I do what I do, because my desire as a wife, and my husband has been phenomenal. And I'm about to get emotional. My husband has been phenomenal in supporting me in this. He comes to my lives with me. He tells me and pray over me. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that. He's not perfect. And trust me, we've had those moments where we've been like this. But in this space, it's important that we are able to go forth and do these types of things and support each other and make sure that we're able to help other married couples and that I'm able to help other wives get over that hurdle of not feeling like you're pretty enough. You don't like your body. You don't like the way you look. You don't want your husband to see you naked because you're ashamed. Nothing to be ashamed of. God created us wonderfully. And everything that we've experienced, some of us have had babies. Our bodies have gone through many changes, and we just don't like those changes. God created us. And he gave us our bodies. And you can have sex without having sexual intimacy, but we want to have sexual intimacy with our husbands and not just sex. Hallelujah. Look, I got excited just then. But I'm telling you guys, God is able. Marriage is beautiful. Marriage is beautiful. We just have to put the work in. And hey, get to work. Get to work. Let's get this stuff. Let's have that hard conversation. Let's tell our husbands that we love them and we support them and we're with them. And let's get the stuff. Let's set the environment, okay? Let's create the spice. Let's connect with our husbands and show them that we're there with them and that they can be there with us. And so, First Lady, I think I have shared everything that God has placed on my notes to share and some extra.
Well, I think you did an outstanding job. That was really good. Wow. I took down some notes. And listen, if you have any questions for Coach Annette, listen, go ahead and put it in the comments and we'll bring your question up so she can answer your question. So while you're thinking about what you may want to ask her, listen, more than likely, you probably have a few guys on. And listen, I want the guys to hear this. I want them so they can see, okay, maybe my wife need a little extra change so that she can go pick up that lotion or that pillow spray or the extra candle, So, hey, stay on. I want the guys on because really, when we have the next, we're going to turn it, we'll flip on you. We want you guys on. So the ladies, I want you to hear what the guys need. So you mentioned about intellectual stimulating the mind. Tell us about that. I want you to share that with when a guy sees his wife. how do we stimulate his mind?
We stimulate, and sometimes we think that the stimulation for most men is visual.
Mhm.
Most men are very visual. They love to look. They
Mhm.
love to see. And guess what? They love us whether our hair done, not done. Most husbands just love you. They like, I love you. You know, the extra when we take care of ourselves, our bodies and our hair, and put on a little makeup and all that, that's extra. But the
Yes.
intellectual stimulation, the way that we get our husbands to be stimulated by what we do and what we say, most
What we
men
say.
love words of affirmation. They
Mhm.
love words. And when I said that we can either build them up or tear them down, one way to tear them down fast is with our words. So if we can tear them down really fast with our words, what do you think if we speak life to them, what that's going to do? They already don't show a lot of emotion. But if we begin to speak life into their spirit and we begin to nurture that area, and by
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, baby, I love the way you did that." My husband couldn't cook when we met.
Mhm.
And what I would do to him, I would go to work. He was a stay-at-home dad because he was doing dialysis. I was doing his dialysis here at home, actually. And he was a stay-at-home dad. And he did not know how to cook. And I would write out the recipe every day and leave it for him to cook. And when he first started, it would not be the best. And I would say, "Babe, you did a great job. I appreciate you. I'm telling you, you cooked that food, baby. Now, next time add a little bit more of this in there." But you know what? It was amazing. And so as I began to do that, the more I did it, the more he was excited to cook. And now I don't have to cook if I don't want to because he'll go cook dinner before I will. But I stimulated him by encouraging him. And so, as wives, you have the power right in your tongue to change just about anything you want to see change by speaking it in him, by saying, "Oh, I love the way that you did the car looked amazing. Oh, you got the car. Oh my God, I loved it. Wow. Oh, look at the rims on it. They so shiny. Noticing those little things." And he's like, "Oh,
Mhm.
she saw that." So next time I'm not gonna ever have to worry about the rims being shiny because he know I noticed it. So next time he's gonna make sure he get the rims. And then my wife liked that last time. But
Yeah.
having those conversations that say, "Oh, babe, what happened at work today?" What Be interested in him, stimulate him, and say, "I'm interested in you." And then you get more with honey than you do without it.
Without it, that's true. Listen, guys, if you're just tuning in with us, we're, of course, the Triumphant Living Today program. This is Triumphant Tuesday, and we have Coach Net Robinson on, and she's talking to us about the 10 steps to spice up your marriage. And listen, you want to let someone know that's maybe having a challenge, and even if they're not having a challenge, they're
Mhm.
thinking about getting married, they're having conversations about getting married. This is information they will need. They'll hear it in the premarital class, but today is a day she's going to share with us because, Valentine's Day is coming up on Sunday. So she's sharing with us today, and she's from Shreveport, Louisiana, right there in Jonesboro. Is it Jonesboro?
Jonesboro is actually an hour and a half away from me, but
Okay.
we travel every time we have to. We will go,
Okay.
and we've been doing it for 15, 16 years.
Well, it's worth the trip.
It is definitely worth it.
True. So we're going to pick back up, but listen, we have some. We want to share with you some tips and maybe some games, and we have, of course, some prizes. So listen, we have some prizes that we want to give away. I love the fact that you had the lotion and you had the candle because I had a candle here, just a candle, something as small as this. Now I'm not giving this away because Jacqueline Johnson gave me this for my birthday, but I thought it was so pretty, and it's cinnamon spice. So let me see who is by Catherine Maldarino. And so this is just the sense that will scent up the entire room, the environment, setting the environment. And then also we have a devotional here. Now this will go with it's Bulletproof Marriage, a 90-day devotional. So, and then we'll talk about this is just having my husband and I, we play this game. It's these are conversation starters. Your husband may not talk much or your wife may not talk much, but these are conversation starters that we just have when we're in bed at night. And he said, "What is your favorite story or character in the Bible?" And then we get into Name 3 words that describe yourself. Name 3 words that describe me. These are just conversations that just to get things started, which always leads to another conversation beyond this card. So these are some things that you can pick up right there at the Bible bookstore. Anyone like that? So let's before we go into show you what today's prize is today, I want Net to talk to us about when we nag and complain.
Mm-hmm. When we nag and complain, like I was telling the wives the other day, you get more from your husband, and instead of nagging, just pray about it. When we nag and complain, it makes them even more frustrated. Most of them will not respond in the way you will not get the response you want. You're actually creating an environment for chaos when you
Wow.
nag and complain. You're creating the environment for tension. You're creating an environment that's not free of peace and love and joy and excitement. You're not able to kindle that flame when you nag and complain. If they're not doing what it is that you need, the best thing you can do is communicate. It goes back to that communication. Well, Coach Ned, he's not gonna listen. I've tried that. What was your delivery? Did you make him feel like you were attacking him first? If he felt attacked before you even came, he's already shut down. So it's your delivery. It's coming into that place of humility and submission. And we hate that word. As women, we think that's the worst thing ever. But if I tell you that's one of the best things that you can have in a marriage is for the husband and wife to submit to each other because we're both open to be able to receive from each other. But if you can go into that place of humility and submission and say, babe, I know this is hard. I know this is an area for you. It's your delivery, your tone, and then you have to sit back and actively listen to what he's saying and don't listen to already respond before he even get the word out of
Mm,
his mouth. He's going to shut down on you again, and you will not get what you need again. Then you're back in this cycle of frustration, fighting, complaining. Frustration, fighting, complaining. How do I break that cycle?
yes.
Communicate daily. Communicate daily. Pluck away at it, because if you're in a place in marriage, and First Lady, if that marriage is already at a hill like this, you cannot come in and try to bombard the whole hill over, right? You have to pluck away at it gradually. Work in one area. And then as you realize, you're going to be knocking that thing down because you're communicating consistently and you're not allowing the pain or the hurt that you feel to build up. And then when you do one thing or the other, you're going to implode or you're going to explode. And that's when all of it just break loose. And it's like, wow, this could have been handled from the beginning.
Yeah.
So no nagging, no complaining. I know that it's hard because you want that light bulb change, and he
Mhm.
haven't changed it yet.
Hadn't changed it yet.
He hadn't changed it yet. It's been 4 months, and he's been saying he's gonna do it. But but guess what? So you know what? This is what I learned to do for my husband. This is what worked for him, and it may work for some of you guys.
Yeah.
If your husband is a man that wants to please you, when you say, babe, it makes me feel real good when you change out the light bulbs, his goal is to make you feel good. And he say, oh, let me change out these light bulbs. That's going to make her feel good.
Right.
You find what makes him feel needed and worthy, and that's how you communicate. And that goes back to those love languages, and we didn't even talk about that, but I talk about that a lot in
Mm,
my wife groups. Those love languages, once you identify that and you love him in that arena of the way that he feels loved, you'll just about, my pastor say, you can almost get anything from
mhm.
him then.
Yeah. You mentioned something. You said he wants to feel needed. What
Mhm.
happens when you don't make him feel needed? I mean, they feel sometimes like they're in the way or she don't even need me.
Hmm. And a man wants to be a man. A real man wants to be a real man. They want to provide. They
Mhm.
have a desire to do the things that they feel that a man is supposed to do. And when you don't allow them, I struggled with that in my marriage, probably the first 6 years, because I was very independent. when my husband met me. And my husband is a man that likes to feel needed. And when I would do the things that he would want to do for me, he will feel like she don't need me. So you actually almost make them feel less than a man when you don't allow them to do the things that the man want to do. So
Yes.
yeah, it's like make them feel like you're the man of this house. You're the king of this castle. Nobody else wears the crown in here. Get him a shirt that say you the king. Make him feel like he's the king because
Right.
he's needed. We can't do it as wives on our own. We can't
No.
be the man. I'm sorry. I don't care how much we know how to do, First Lady Perry. We cannot be the man. There's just some things that the enemy might not run away from us on, but he'll run from that head
Yeah.
because that man has a power and an authority that we just don't carry. So it's different when the man speaks to those children. It's
Yeah.
different.
Hmm.
So we have to allow him that space and step back and be submissive. And where you're strong at, he may be weak. Where you're weak at, he may be strong. It's a team thing.
Yeah. Right. Right. I like that. I like that. Do we have any questions? Do we have any questions? So listen, if you have any questions, go ahead and put your questions in the comments. We want to answer your question. But right now, we're going to give away a gift. I want to show you some things that you can do to set the atmosphere. I want to, Kendra say, stroking with words. Thank you, Kendra. Listen, guys. Okay, I want you to show the picture of how to set the bathtub. There we go. Okay, of course, those are just some glasses there and all that, but just set the atmosphere, um, and just run some nice water for them, put some rose petals in there. And yeah, hey, turn your music on and tell them, baby, it's your time, or you get in there together, whatever you need to do. Okay, let's go back to, okay. And so right now, I want to give this away. This is a bath set. This is from the Poofy business, Mrs. Sylvia Osher, who donated this. Again, one of the things that Coach Net mentioned, she mentioned that some of the things that you could just pick up at the Dollar Tree. We wanted, of course, I'm always showing you a good way to use your budget if your budget is limited. And then if you can go over and above, do that. But here's a package right here. So if you want to put your information in the comments, your name, or we'll select someone at the end of the program or afterwards to allow others a chance. But this is a nice set we're going to give away. And then now let's go to the video. We have a gift that Mrs. Sylvia Osher from the Poofy Business donated on today. And so now let's go to the video and someone will win this. Today's giveaway is donated by the Poofy Business. A beautiful table setting for 6 people. Of course, you see 5 chairs, but it's a table setting for 6 people. You have the beautiful placemats, the chargers. You have the rose petals, the candies, the decor, and the beautiful clear glass, which you can put a candle in. Of course, the flower arrangement does not go with the set. And have a nice dinner with your family, or you can make it dinner for 2. The light on the window is part of the decor. Then you can end it with the rose petals that leads directly to that special place. Okay, so I guess we didn't have any sound. once they work that out, we'll show it again. Let's show the picture then. Let's just show the picture. Okay, so that's what the entire set looks like. And so everything on the table, but the actual centerpiece and what's in the centerpiece, you'll be able to get, even those on the chair, the little decor on the chair. And so all that's set there. And then on the window over there, it actually lights up. And so that's a gift for today where you can set your own table. Listen, you can set your table. You can go back now. You can set your table for 2, or you can set it for 6. So it's up to you. Just, that again, that's something on a budget, a limited budget that you can enjoy. Again, that is from the Poofy business. She set that up with, all of that came from, again, a limited place of Dollar Tree. So, you can make it nice so you don't have to spend a lot of money and you can have a nice romantic evening. So let's go back. I have a question for you. You're having a 31-day challenge. Okay, let's pull that up. A 31-day challenge for virtuous wives. And that is March 1st through March 31st. And so, thank you. And then, so this is a private Facebook group. And one of the things is, I wanted to ask you this question. Thank you so much. You can go back to one of the questions I want to ask you, because I see here on this, the flyer here, you say it's 6 in 10 couples are unhappy. She's frozen. Okay, we'll wait till she come back on. But anyway, she has a wife challenge that will take place March 1st through March 31st. And it is 31-day virtuous wives challenge. And so with this here, I was talking about the 31-day challenge. What happened? You froze. Okay. So we'll pick back up on this.
Okay.
You can hear me? Okay. Well, we're going to keep talking about this because the enemy is not going to have this program while we're talking about marriages. So tell us about that, because I asked you the question. I said, I mentioned that it's 6 in 10 couples that are unhappy, and why?
Most of the couples, we have 5 different reasons on that list. First off, intimacy is one of the key ones. Another key one is communication. Those are 2 of the bigger things, and finances. And finances stem from communication. Communication is one of the biggest areas that branches off into every other area. And it says also that 6 and 10 are not happy, but 5 will stay. Only 1 will leave. So if we're staying in those in our marriages, why not do the things to help us be healthy and happy so that we don't be miserable if we're staying? Let's work at becoming healthy and happy. And that's where that came from. I said, okay, Lord, I'm going to do it. A part of my coaching business is to help wives. And I've done the wife challenge. This will be my 4th one. And every session gets more better. It's even better. It's just like, oh my God. And just seeing the wives become transformed, because they're like, I never really worked in that area. We'll invest in so many other things. We'll send those kids to basketball, pay hundreds of dollars. We'll spend hundreds of dollars on our hair. We'll spend thousands of dollars on shoes, bags, clothes. But when it comes to the thing that you're going to be in for the rest of your life until death do us part, we won't invest in that area. And so the encouragement is, let's invest in us as women and wives. And we don't focus on, now the husbands get lots of great benefits from this. There's a great benefit for the husband, but our key focus is to focus on us as wives and how we respond, how we react, what tone are we setting for the marriage? How can we change in the marriage? And I totally believe that if we begin to make changes as wives, that it will trickle over into our marriage. It's not probably going to be perfect, but it will trickle over and you'll start seeing some change because you changed and because you're a part of the union. you have some say so in what the atmosphere looks like. So do your part as a wife. And that Healthy Happy Wife Challenge, it pushes those wives. So if you're a wife and you say, I am very complacent. I'm okay, but I know we're not where we could be. This will be great for you. There's every day we do an affirmation. There's a wife challenge where you have to do something as a wife. You begin to operate in the love language. You get to take the love language quiz so you can identify what's my husband's love language. And you encourage him. If he can't be a part, you want to share. Babe, I'm so excited. I'm learning about this right here. I had one wife to say my husband thought something was wrong. He thought I was going to try to kill him because I've been so nice to him. It was hilarious because she says, I never did these things for him before. I never picked up his favorite snack and just left it on the counter for him when I went to work, or I never sent him text messages from work and tell him I appreciate him. So every time she would do something, he said, what's wrong? Everything okay? And you're not trying to do nothing to me, are you? So she just was mind blown. She says, I did not realize how disconnected we really were. So that's what this wife challenge does. It brings that connection, that deep level that you need within your marriage. And it's the prayer is that, marriages just flourish and go to that next level.
Yeah, yeah. So this is called, the Facebook page is called Healthy Happy Wives.
It's called Healthy Happy Wives. That's a private Facebook group. They register through my website. They get registered, they receive all the information that they need, and then they get into the group. Now, if they want to join a group that's amazing, I have a walkthrough life, and over there that you can actually go to that right now, and you can join that group. In that group, I share on all levels, for moms, for wives, future wives, business owners. It's a group because it's a walk through life with me. And that's everything that I am. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a business owner, I'm a ministry leader. So we do so many different things. On last night, we had a call, a praying mother, and we went into deep prayer and warfare for our children. So over there, I share a lot of information that just takes us through this walk in life that we as women experience. But if they want to join the Healthy Happy Wives and just focus strictly on them as a wife, go over to my website. You can register there. And I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed when you join this challenge. But you might not like me after, but your marriage will be healthy and happy.
Well, that's what it's all about for us if you're going to be on the team here. Listen. If you have any questions, listen. I know she did a great job, but if you have any questions, go ahead and send your questions in. And if you want to send in a question that's kind of private, you can go ahead and email Coach Net. But listen, this is her book, and this is called 10 Intimacy Tips to Spice Up Your Love Life. So you can find that on, is it Amazon?
It's actually on my website. They can go to the website.
Okay. Yes. All right. So you can find this information right on the website. And I believe I see it where it was up there earlier, and it'll come back up so that you can have that information regarding the email and the website. Listen, I have had an outstanding time with you on today. You have shared so much information. I mean, really, you covered just about every area when it came to the book, both of your books, and with us, preparing for Valentine's Day. And like you said, it's not all about sex. It's about intimacy. And so, when you mention intimacy, one of the things I thought about is that's something that before we got married, male and female, we didn't hear about. And so I think it brought about a little confusion of what intimacy really meant. Yes, and so, I'm thinking, do you allow some of the engaged couples to be a part of your challenge, or only the wives?
No, it's for future wives, because that was one of my key things as well. I didn't have this information before I was married. And I think it's vital that the information is given beforehand so that you can go in at least semi-prepared of what you're probably going to be facing. You're kind of a little armed. Now, the life is going to teach you the most experience, but at least you kind of go in with the information that you need, that, this is what I need to be doing. Yeah.
Right. So, oh, wow. This is really, really good. So listen, guys, one more time, go ahead and sign up for the Happy Wives Challenge, which will begin March 1st through March 31st. And then it's also I think it's the free download. This one is the ultimate guide for wives. Listen, when you're prepared, it sure helps because when you hear something or when something happened, at least you're familiar with, okay, I heard that in the class. I heard someone talk
Mhm.
about it. Instead of like me, I was totally lost. I was totally lost. And so, I mean, you saw what you saw on television, you saw what you saw,
Right.
around you, but that was it. I mean, so you want me to do what? I mean, you want me to you didn't know. And so, but at some point, you can't keep saying, I didn't know when information is out there like this
Right.
today. So we have the information. So now, what can we do better? How can we move forward? How we can go on? It doesn't matter if you've been married 2 years, 3 years, or if you've been married 20 years. We can all, hey, it doesn't hurt that we can have a better marriage. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
the two can be one. They really can. So you have to want it. Thank you so much, Coach Ned. I'm telling you, I have really enjoyed having you on the program today. I mean, how many of you guys would like to stay on and listen to her?
Thank you for
So they're
having
really
me.
responding. And I want to thank those, some of them are on every week. And then we have some new ones that are on today, just needing to hear how I can spice up my marriage. So thank you so much. This is right. I have enjoyed this. Franchelle Bryant, thank you so much for being on the program today, Franchelle. And so I really have enjoyed myself. And then again, don't forget, for those of you who are interested in the prizes, go ahead. I hate that the video didn't show. I don't think what happened. Oh, we picked the winner. Have we picked the winner? Okay. Oh, they're going to pick the winner after the broadcast. They're going to allow everyone to have an opportunity. Again, thank you so much. And I want to thank those who were part of the birthday party, the virtual birthday party on last week. I had so much fun. Thank you so much for being a part of that. I'm looking forward to doing some other great things like we did today live. I wanted to be beneficial of what I'm doing, and having Coach Net on today. Listen, if that helps your marriage, cause you to do something different, cause you to take what you heard on today. And yeah, listen, go ahead and scare them and make them think, what happened to her? What did she hear today? Go ahead and scare them up really good. Do something different. Coach Net, I want you to think of something. Give them a quick challenge to do today.
Today, right now, I want you to send your husband a text, say, I love you, I appreciate you, and say one specific thing that he has done that make you feel like you appreciate him. Do that today. Do it now. And just say, I love you. And I can't see my life without you. Build him up.
That's good. That's good. Building them up is really important. So
Mhm.
listen, we're getting ready to go off the program. Thank you guys for what's that sharing walls. I'm usually busy at work, but I'm so glad God cleared my schedule for this today. Thank you, Sharon, for being a part of the program. And I'm sure your husband is going to be glad you were on the program.
Yes.
So thank you so much. So listen, we're getting ready to go off the program. We'll see you on Triumphant Tuesday on next week. You want to be on? Got something planned for you. So I'm excited. So thank you again. I want to thank all the media team for helping me on today. I want to thank Tamika Parrish, Chanel for doing my makeup, and then also for Keosha Lyons, Lynn Williams, and Shanti Green. Thank you all for helping making Triumphant Tuesday what it is. God bless you. And then again, I want to thank Pastor Rhonda and Bishop for allowing Net to be on the program today, and always supportive. And so God bless you in Jonesboro, Louisiana. So thank you again, Net, and we will see you soon. We'll see you again. We'll make sure you're on the
Yes.
program. Yes, thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm grateful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Listen, guys, we're going off, and we will see you next Tuesday. God bless.